All right, everybody, welcome back to today's personal development lesson. I am your host, Joel Dunn. Today, we are going to be talking about you. Yeah, you. We're going to be going over you being you is your competitive advantage. I know I've done something similar to this before, but it's one of those things that we have to have a constant reminder of. See, your story matters. You're the most qualified person to help who you were yesterday. You've heard Ed Milet say that I don't know how many times, but we need to keep saying it until it sinks in. Because a lot of us spend our life trying to be someone else. I'm guilty of that. We study the top people, we copy their styles, we mimic their voices, and try to become a slightly worse version of them. And we wonder why things just don't click. So here's what I want you to hear today. You being fully you is the one thing that nobody can compete with. See, there are people that are probably more talented than me, more talented than you. They're probably more experienced. They're probably more polished. And guess what? That's fine because none of them can be you. God didn't create them to reach the people He created you to reach. Your story, your voice, your scar, your perspective. That is the exact road you walked to get here. And that's something that you shouldn't hide or apologize for or have to get past because that is your edge. So we're talking about why you being you is the most valuable thing, your competitive edge. So here's the thing. Nobody can compete with you being you. See, the moment you try to be someone else, you become replaceable. The moment you're fully yourself, you become unmatchable. And here's the trap that so many of us, me included, fall into. We look at someone successful and think, ooh, I need to be more like them. So we do the things like copy their voice, copy their style, copy their speaking strategy, or we end up going down and doing the things that they do exactly, which eliminates the soul, the spirit portion of us. We end up getting to be a watered down version of somebody else instead of the full version of who God created us to be. But think about it. If you're trying to be a copy of someone, why would anyone pick you over the original? That's why your advantage was never in being like them. It is being unmistakably you. Because your personality, your sense of humor, your way of seeing things, your background, your quirks, your energy, and your voice, those things are the things that differentiate you from everybody else out there. Those are the things that you need to turn up, not turn down. Because here's what's true. People don't connect with perfect. People connect with real. And the realest thing that you have is you. Because when you copy someone else, you're competing. When you live fully you out there in the world, there's no competition because you are a one of one masterpiece. So ask yourself today, where have I been watering myself down to look more like someone else? Turn that part of you back up today so that you are louder as yourself. Now, here's the thing. Your story is your credibility. People don't follow your highlight reel forever. It may attract them to you. They may have seen something from your highlight reel and it drew them in, but they follow you for your honesty. See, we think credibility comes from our win, from looking like we've got it all together, from the polished version, but that is not what actually moves people. It's your story, the real one, the things that you've gone through is your credibility. Your struggle you went through, the season you almost quit, the failure that taught you something that you could teach, the valley that you climbed out of to get to the mountain. That's not the part to hide. That's the part to connect. Because people can't always connect with the mountaintop because they're in the valley. So share your valleys. Share what actually happens. Something powerful happens. And when that is shared, the person listening thinks, if they made it through it, maybe I can too. See, your polished self impresses people, but your honest self actually helps people. And there's no truer example than Stephanie and I. See, we were doing all the things we thought we were supposed to be doing, but we weren't sharing our true story. We wanted to share the clean version. We didn't want to share the dirty, messy part. In the moment that we talked about losing everything, losing our franchises, losing, the rental properties, standing in food lines so that we had enough money left over to not lose our home, that connected with people because that is where some people are. And if we could show that we went from there to getting out of there, we provide them hope. That chapter of our story that we wanted to skip over was the exact chapter someone else needed to hear to help them get through their current chapter. Because your highlight reel impresses, but your real story is what transforms the people that you are trying to help. So think of one part of your story that you usually keep hidden and ask yourself, who might need to hear that exact story and share it? Now, here's the thing. Where were you before? The version of you that was struggling or stuck. Think about that. Write that down. Then think about the moment something shifted. Was it something somebody said? Was it an event you went to? Was it an answered prayer? Write that thing down. What you know now that you wished the earlier version of you had known. Write that down and share that. Why? Why do we need these things? Because that's exactly why you are able to help somebody today. See, we love the example of the minefield. There's a minefield and there's a person that's already stepped through it, and they're pointing out to other people where to step so they don't blow up their lives. That is your job. You have gone through. You have made it to the other side. Now you need to help those people in your similar situation by pointing out the things that help them get past it without blowing up their lives. Because you're the most qualified person to help who you used to be. I've said this quite a few times, and again, it's one of those things that I've stolen from Ed Milet because it's such a profound statement. You don't have to be the world's top expert. You just have to be a few steps ahead of the person you're helping. So it could be you yesterday, not you 5 years ago. You could have learned something today that you can turn around and share tomorrow that could deeply impact somebody's life. Because here's the lie that keeps people quiet. I'm not qualified enough to help anybody because I haven't arrived yet. So let me free you from that today. You are the most qualified person in the world to help the person you were yesterday. You don't need to be top of the mountain to help somebody. You don't need to be 100 steps ahead. You just need to be a few steps ahead of them on the trail, turning around and saying, hey, I know this part. Watch this rock. Watch out for this hole. Watch this mud. Keep going. It opens up right here. The person 1 year behind you needs what you already know. The person struggling with what you've already overcame needs to hear your voice. The person standing where you used to stand needs to hear how you moved forward and got unstuck. Because you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to give them 200 steps. You just have to be the one willing to reach back and pull someone up one step from where they're already climbing and from one step where you've already put your foot. That's not a lack of qualification. That's the exact qualification that matters the most. If somebody's trying to get up the hill and you're further ahead and they've been in that same spot for months and you know the next step that they should take, you're doing a disservice by not sharing your authenticity, sharing your story, and helping them to get past it. Because you don't have to be the expert. You just have to be a few steps ahead and be willing to share it. So today, identify one person who's right now where you used to be. Reach back this week. Offer them what you already know and see how it changes their trajectory. See, the things that we usually hide, those are the things that help. You know, the dirty parts of your story that you're embarrassed by are often the parts that give someone else permission to move forward. Because we all have chapters we'd rather delete. You know, Control Alt Delete. We used to have to do that on computers to get rid of things. The failure, the mistake, the season we're not proud of, the vision and the version of us we've been trying to outrun. Things can't always work the way that we vision them. The version that we want to be is sometimes not the version of who we are yet. So here's the twist. Those chapters are often the ones that set other people free. Because when you're brave enough to say, I've been there too, you give someone permission to stop hiding and you turn your mess into their roadmap. See, the stuff you're tempted to bury is usually the stuff someone else desperately needs to know that they're not alone in. Have you ever thought that? Have you ever thought that you're the only one dealing with this? And then you go to an event or you meet with a friend and somebody shares that they're in the same moment with you. Another thing, you don't have to broadcast everything, but stop treating the hardest chapters in your life like liabilities. In the right moment, shared with the right heart, they become your greatest gift and your greatest asset. Because your mess in the right hands becomes someone else's message. So give yourself permission this week to stop hiding one part of your story that could actually help or heal someone. And then finally, you need to show up as yourself on purpose. Being yourself isn't passive. It's a decision you make every day. Being fully alive and fully you doesn't just happen. In a world constantly pushing you to blend in, copy, conform, copy, paste, being yourself is truly a decision. So every day you get to choose, do I show up as the real me or the me I think that the people want? Do I share the actual story or the safe, polished version? Do I lead with my voice or an imitation voice of someone else? See, the leaders who make the biggest impacts aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones brave enough to be unmistakably themselves on purpose every day out loud. So show up as you today. Tell your story. Use your voice. Help the person you used to be because nobody in this world can do it quite like you can. Being yourself isn't something you are, it's something you choose daily. So today, in one setting where you're normally playing it safe, choose to show up fully as yourself on purpose. Because probably like me and Steph, at the beginning, we spent too long thinking we had to become someone else to be valuable. Guys, you don't. You being you, your story, your voice, your scars, your perspective, the things that you went through that could help somebody else, that's the competitive advantage nobody can take away from you and nobody can copy you because your story matters. Somebody needs it. Somebody is waiting for you to show up and share. And you're the most qualified person alive to help them. God created you specifically to reach them. You know, say God works all things for good, for the glory of Him. And when you're using these things to help others, it makes that so true. You can look back at the mess that you went through and see that the reason that you may not understand, but you know that you can use it to have impact for greater good. So this week, stop hiding what makes you you. Share one piece of your incredible real story. Reach back, help the one person who used to be you show up fully as yourself, and watch how much more you connect with the people on your team and the people around you. Because you being you is your competitive advantage. There's nobody else out there like you. You are a one of one creation for all of eternity. So go out and use that as your superpower and be exactly that. Guys, I hope this helped. Make sure that you share this with somebody on your team. Tag somebody that you know that needs to hear this. Go out, share your mess, share your story. Go out and make it an amazing day, and I hope your week is as awesome as you are.